Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 241.
241.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Owner Becky Mangan has been touring Asia parks in the last couple of weeks. She has now been to all of the Disney parks all over the world. So if you book through them, you'll be able to get questions answered really about any park in the world. And they do not just Disney, but Universal and pretty much all cruises and hotels everywhere worldwide.
You know, looking at all that coverage makes me think we need to get to Asia too.
Well, I want to go to Paris again
parks.
soon.
Oh, and not to mention Paris. Yes, so lots to look forward to. But definitely check out MEI.
Yes, we just spent 2 weeks just about at Disneyland. We ended up extending a couple days. So I highly recommend that for Halloween.
Oh, HalloweenTime at Disneyland is spectacular.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more. But on this show, we're going to just talk about Mickey's Halloween Party, which for the first time ever this year includes Disney California Adventure.
Not trick-or-treating, but just to go over there and see all the Cars Land and the Monsters After Dark and everything.
Monsters After Dark, our favorite.
I love that. And so, anyway, we will be talking more about all that next week. This is just about the party at Disneyland.
So here we are. We are outside of Disneyland, about to enter the park. We're going in early. The party, I believe the party started at 6, so you were able to get in
3 hours early. So
3
probably
o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, so we are here at about 2. We wanted to come in early, but you can see the cast members are already setting up and getting ready to welcome the party guests.
Now, all the parties had said sold out before we got there, but one of the parties ended up having some tickets. Not the first one, so you never know. And Toontown, you can go there about an hour ahead of time and do trick-or-treating
Early
and stuff.
trick-or-treating,
and characters.
yes. And we'll talk all about that very soon. But when it became time to get our wristbands, we headed over to the Starcade inside the park, like it said to do. And we found this quite long line. This is the only detraction of the whole night, actually, for me.
There were several challenges during the party. This was the major one. We waited 45 minutes to not end up getting our wristbands. The problem was really the communication. Also, I asked several times whether or not we could get wristbands at the front of the park easily, and they said no. There's the computer crash there too.
Not true.
It wasn't true. So we ended up eventually after 45 minutes going to the front. So I just say go to the front.
Yeah, even
don't go to Starcade.
If you're in the park, just leave the park. It's a nicer entrance anyway.
You're going to see the balloons, the inflatables, and it's much nicer. So just leave the park and then come back in and enjoy the view down Main Street.
Right. So that's our one little challenge.
And it's probably not going to be like that all the time, but I wouldn't even. Just go to the front, go outside, and come in on your party ticket.
So as we always do, first thing when you go to one of these Halloween parties, be it Florida or California, you want to check out the party map and make your plan. Check out the schedule of events. The main thing for me that I really wanted to see was the parade.
Right, and that's a Frightfully Fun Parade. We had seen the former parade like 7 years ago. So this Frightfully Fun started last year.
Right. What we saw in 2010 was actually a Halloween cavalcade. It wasn't even a full parade. So this is the first time we've seen a full Halloween parade at Disneyland. We'll get into that, of course, later too. But now we're going to talk about the Toontown experience. This is something that's not heavily advertised and really was one of the highlights of the party for me.
And it wasn't as busy as I thought it would be. It was busy, but I think there's probably a lot of guests who were over at Disney California Adventure, so it probably made it a little bit better.
On our way to Toontown, though, we happened upon Gaston, and I included this because it was officially the party. So there he is. There is you taking pictures of Gaston, and he told us he invented the smolder.
I don't believe it.
Gaston would not lie. Would he lie? I doubt
don't
that. He said it was stolen by Flynn Rider. So, and this Gaston has quite the smolder, so it could be true.
You never know. But I'm just going to say, okay, we went to Toontown, and everybody has to get in line. This was very organized. So while the first part of the party experience was not, this was very well done in the way they handled getting everybody into Toontown.
And if you just saw a second ago, that line got very, very long. We got there maybe about 45 minutes before they opened Toontown. I would say even do an hour. But with 45 minutes, most people ran over to the right past these guys for trick-or-treating. We went straight to the characters. We wanted to meet Mickey, and that is exactly what we did. And here he is. Here is Mickey in his Zorro costume.
So Mickey's Toontown Fair is only open for a couple of hours. It's not open all night. This was one of the highlights for me, was coming here, not just for the characters, but we're going to show Mickey and Minnie's house for trick-or-treating, but Mickey was Zorro. And so this was a character costume I have not seen before. Actually, all of the characters in Toontown, I don't think I've seen the costumes.
And can I tell you, he somehow reminds me of the Hamburglar. I don't know why. Does he not remind you a little bit?
Well, I've seen other people say that.
Oh,
so.
I don't know about that, but now Minnie was also spectacular.
And it was nice not seeing her in a witch costume, because we see her in witch costumes like everywhere.
Exactly.
Now, this is the third costume that we've seen her at Disneyland, if you count DCA as well.
At least 3 Halloween. No, 4 if you count the parade.
Oh, right, 4. So, I mean, that's quite a few different changes she has. And then Daisy ends up being the witch here.
Yeah, Daisy, that is a great Daisy witch outfit. I've not seen that either. That's what made this so special. It wasn't overly crowded because, again, it's not really publicized. And you get to see the characters in these special outfits. Look at this. It is Donald, and I believe this is a sorcerer or a wizard. Maybe it's a wizard outfit.
That's what it looks like. I think somebody at Cass and Bird said that Mickey would be a wizard, but it's actually Donald who's the wizard. Mm-hmm. So it was really fun to see what the characters would come out as. And I just want to say, I really enjoyed this party a lot, and for me, probably as much as Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. It's like and I keep saying it to people, it's the icing on the cake. Disneyland does a great Halloween all day long.
Right, regardless of the party.
Right, and it's just like an extra icing on the cake, and I do recommend it.
Well, this is the best trick-or-treating experience I have had in my life ever, and I've been to every Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party for the last 15 years. I've not missed one in 15 years.
I wish we did it more than once.
We did the Disneyland event in 2010, but this trick-or-treating experience here, starting at Minnie's house, going outside into Mickey's house, and getting candy was absolutely fantastic.
I will say also they have a very wide selection of not only candy but healthy treats too. I mean, you go to one barrel and there'll be apples or carrots. I mean, you can't choose both, but you can choose one or the other, and then you can choose the other if you want at another barrel. But they have a lot of different candy. It's not like it's just Mars. It's Hershey's. It's Mars. But then they have other different items as well. I didn't even see everything. We only trick or treated like twice or maybe 3 times I did.
I would say that I prefer this year's candy, Disneyland, over the Walt Disney World candy.
But Walt Disney World is very good as well. I mean, they're
I like
both...
the M&M Mars, don't get me wrong, but I like $100,000 bars too.
Yeah.
And Hershey's, which were not offered at Walt Disney World.
Well, here it's a mix of many different items plus like snack items and again apples.
Watch this. This is great. Now I say, hey, look, $100,000 bar. and the nice cast member, he was chiding me, but he actually gave it to us with a smile. So it was very nice.
I didn't ask for anything in specific, but I got like 3 of them.
Yeah,
so
he
that's
gave you
my
one
favorite.
too.
That's
he saw
my
you
favorite.
smile. So that was really cool. So now we've just left Minnie's house and we're going into Mickey's house. And Mickey's house has quite the big inside.
And you can choose also cran raisins instead of candy. I mean, there's really a lot of different items, and there's at least 8 different treat places here within the 2 houses. So it's really fun to get to go through Mickey and Minnie's house. When we were told Mickey and Minnie's house was open, I thought it was going to be to go meet Mickey.
Right.
But it's not. It's to go and get candy. And now I wish we had gone through here once more just because it was so much fun.
And we did go through Mickey's house later on in the trip, and it was absolutely packed. You couldn't go through like this and really enjoy all the scenes and just sort of have a relaxed atmosphere. So that's another reason I think that I really enjoyed this.
You mean not for trick-or-treating, just for going in and, going
just
in
enjoying
to meet
all
Mickey
the
when
atmosphere
we
at
went to meet
Mickey's,
Mm-hmm.
His house itself. Yeah, I thought that was very cool.
So it was just really a good time. And so this, again, was one of my highlights as far as overall Toontown experience. And I wish we had a little more time to do this at that time. So, like, if we had been able to do a second party, which I didn't realize tickets would become available, I would have liked to have done that.
It was very last minute.
It was very last minute. All of a sudden, it's like, tickets are available,
And we had already made plans. We had done a dinner package for World of Color, so we kind of were committed.
Do you see Cheez-Its? There's Cheez-Its, so every so often you'll see little snack items like that.
So I really think Mickey's Halloween Party has improved greatly in the years since 2010, since we've seen it before. I think that was the first year that they moved back from California Adventure to Disneyland. And as we mentioned earlier in the show, this year fully includes Disney's California Adventure and all of that stuff. So, I mean, you could spend your whole night at California Adventure if you want. So I think that's a very nice bonus.
But no trick-or-treating, you still get characters. No parade, nothing over there.
Well,
except
you can
Monsters
go back
After
and forth.
Dark, right?
You
Radiator
can hop.
Springs.
You can fully hop. And the other big difference between Mickey's not so scary party at Walt Disney World and just Mickey's Halloween party at Disneyland is at Walt Disney World they have the Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular, which is a big multimedia show, and there's no show like that at Disneyland.
No, but you get to trick or treat their Mickey and Minnie's house. So
yes.
I didn't really miss not having a show. It was, it was nice. You don't have to worry about getting, to the stage to wait for a show and all that. Not that I don't love it. It's really a good show.
Just to attend the party, not have to wait for things as much. It was just more of a spontaneous, just having fun type of an event. And we are just now walking out of Mickey's house. So that I just really wanted to show how tremendous that experience was if you like to trick or treat.
And I just like Mickey's Toontown Fair, so it was nice to be able to go there. We were there probably for at least an hour, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Before the party officially started.
I miss Toontown. And there's Goofy too. Goofy also was out meeting and greeting in his Goofy's Candy Company outfit.
Yeah, I really enjoyed these outfits. Again, we saw Goofy in 3 or 4 different outfits during the time. He has a Buena Vista Street outfit. He has his skeleton outfit, and then he had this.
And of course, you can get Halloween-themed balloons.
All day, though, not just during the party, but you can get these all day. And I'm just going to say they have a million different treats. So many treats. At least you can get them all day, every day. But we were there for 2 weeks. We couldn't try everything. There was just too many.
We tried to do 2 a day. I'll have to do a video of all the different treats because I think I recorded just about every one.
It was 1 to 2 a day during much of the time, but it was impossible.
Oogie Boogie, tremendous treat. That was a very good one.
Yes, the one over at French Market. That was especially great.
So now we're in Fantasyland. I just want to show how many trick-or-treat stations they have. There are tons of them all throughout the park.
But we only went to the ones in Mickey's Toontown Fair. We didn't even go to all of those.
We had enough candy as it was.
I know.
I did not want to carry more candy. That is the honest, true reason.
We didn't really end up having a lot of time. We spent most of our time on Main Street after this. But I don't know what all the items are, so I would have liked to have tried it just to see what they had.
So here is the Pixar Pals Halloween dance party, similar to the dance party they used to have at Mickey's Not So Scary.
And we were on our way over to Red Rockets to get some dinner, and it was not busy at all, so you can really get something to eat pretty easily. But the Halloween dance party was a lot of fun, and they had several different sets of characters, although not all of the ones that they list. So they were going to have the Up characters, Monsters characters, and I think Toy Story characters.
Right, they sort of rotate throughout the night,
Inside
which is nice.
Out. So yeah, I thought it looked like fun.
So now we're going to take a quick look at some of the decorations. You saw a nice inflatable Mickey and some projections in Frontierland here.
So I really like the decorations here. We didn't have very much time to kind of run around and look at them. So it was nice that we had a little bit of time, and you can see the orange trees.
Pumpkin tree. That's the pumpkin tree.
It's been like that for a very long time. For many years they've done that. And so
this is where Mickey and Pirate Mickey and Minnie will meet later in front of the Columbia. And here is another trick-or-treat station, but it's right next to the Talking Scarecrow. And the Talking Scarecrow is very fun, very interactive. He'll joke with you as you walk by. And, some people, you may not like that, but I had a lot lot of fun watching
I don't want to talk to the...
you avoid the talking
the
scarecrow.
Prime Time Cafe, Whispering Candy. I don't like the whole interaction thing so much.
But he's actually very funny. I got quite the kick out of it.
But he was there. I remember him from 2010. I remember that they had the scarecrow.
He was in a different location. He was more by the castle back then, at the entrance to Frontierland. So here now we're going to look at the rivers of America, and you can see it's already becoming very spooky. There's a fog that's going all night long. There's special lighting and coloring, and I think very soon we're going to see the Cadaver Dans, who, unlike at Walt Disney World, they perform on one of the Tom Sawyer rafts, and boy, they are great.
And I mean, they're not only on the raft, but they're actually floating down the river. So I just think that's really awesome.
Yeah, they were spectacular, and this we will link to this. They're singing "Grim Grinning Ghost." They have a whole set, and you can see them during the day, not in these costumes, but they'll do the whole set that they do here on the barge. They'll do along Main Street, USA. We saw them the very next morning, and it was the same guys.
Right. Well, they were singing the Grim Grinning Ghost and Headless Horseman song, so I thought that was a lot of fun.
So, of course, here is Town Square. We wanted to go to Town Square to see the villains. They have a special villain meet and greet area at Town Square, and there is Gaston again, posing with one of his fans. And you can see it's all lit up with special Halloween decor.
And he will swap off with Dr. Facilier. This area does get busy. I will say the character lines are nothing like Walt Disney World as far as like Jack and Sally here are like 3 hours where maybe there, and Jack and Sally meet during the day there, so maybe 45 minutes or something we waited for Jack and Sally during the day.
That's probably the longest wait you're going to get is for Jack and Sally. Maybe for Maleficent.
Maybe 45 minutes to an hour it looked like it was going to be for them. We didn't end up having the time to wait.
And there is the evil queen. She's waiting for Maleficent's departure. The problem here is you are not guaranteed which character you're going to get. So if you really want to see Maleficent, you could wait a half an hour and then you may get the evil queen. Nothing wrong with the evil queen.
You could probably let people, other guests go in front of you, I suppose.
I suppose you could do that. But, it's a little better if you want to meet a specific character if there is a dedicated line. And there she goes. There is Maleficent on her way back to the underworld.
Now, if you had Maleficent here meeting and greeting, it'd probably be several hours.
I love the projections on Main Street. That is one thing we don't have. The quality of the projections on Main Street, USA at Disneyland is outstanding.
Well, it's not even just the projections. It's that they go with the music that is playing.
Absolutely.
Like they'll have like Nightmare Before Christmas music, and so then you'll see Nightmare Before Christmas projections.
So the Headless Horseman is very, very different at Disneyland. Here you have Ichabod Crane leading the way with the guys with the lanterns, and there is the horseman.
He really moseys down.
He's like Ichabod. He's a very good Ichabod.
He was excellent. But if the horse was any slower, he'd be going backwards, which is great. Like you can really see him. They do ask no flash photography during any of the parade, and you really don't see a lot of it. I mean,
people listen.
Right, and that was something that they used to ask for at least during the Headless Horseman segment a long time ago. And you see a few flashes, but overall, most guests were honoring that.
Absolute highlight of the night. There's been many highlights, but the Frightfully Fun Parade was worth every second, every penny of admission for this. And we ended up watching it twice. The first time we watched it, there was a little hiccup in the parade. One of the floats broke down, but it went off without a hitch during the second one. And we will link to that, of course, in the show notes.
And that was one of the little challenges. Everything was kind of pushed ahead, or back. I don't know which way. 15 minutes or so.
We would have had more time to do other things had the first one not broken down. And here is Mickey and Minnie. Now, they are new to the parade this year, we're told, and they have another outfit. There's, of course, another witch outfit for Minnie. She seems to favor the witch outfits, as we mentioned earlier.
And they are the only ones that are not really mildly, I don't want to say mildly frightful. I mean, it's not a scary parade, but once you get past this, I mean, it's Jack Skellington, it's
frightfully fun.
It is frightfully fun. It's not like you have, dancing cowboys or anything. That's not what this parade is all about. You've got the mayor now of HalloweenTown.
I love the mayor. I love this vehicle. It is huge in person. It is gigantic, almost as tall as Main Street. Really nice.
And I think I had written something down about the Headless Horseman being new last year with Ichabod
Indeed,
Crane.
That was last year was the debut of the Horseman, so he's only been there. This is his second year.
So is this supposed to, and I don't know.
And the same with the parade. This is only the second year of the parade.
Oh, and they're with the parade. So is this supposed to be like a hearse or something, do you think? Because that's almost what it looks like. I have no idea.
Looks like it could be. I mean, it is from HalloweenTime.
That's what I thought when I saw it.
And I love these little vampires. They are awesome. Again, this whole parade was spectacular. I love the fact you have a lot of the villain and real Halloween-y type things in the parade. And I think we're about to see the Pumpkin King himself, Jack Skellington and Sally.
Right, and it's more than a cavalcade, but it's not as long as Mickey's Boo-to-You Parade. So Jack and Sally, when they broke down, they ended up having to dance for like 15 minutes.
Well, it was their float that broke down.
It was their float. Everybody had to dance for like 15 minutes. So that was interesting. I got a lot of pictures of them. But in this way that we're watching it now, they were able to just, everything worked, and that was nice.
Right. As what you mean is at Disneyland, the parade goes down towards Main Street, towards the pumpkin the first time, and the second time it'll go towards the castle. So it's nice, you can have your pick of what direction you want to see it.
And this is a really great float, but now, and I really like this float also, the Haunted Mansion float, but you have elements that are similar to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, Mickey's Boo-to-You Parade, like the ballroom dancers.
And these are more colorful. They don't have the dirt and grime like the Boo-to-You counterparts.
I've never thought of that.
This is a better fit. You know, you've seen the...
but I didn't think of it, like the 2 times we saw the parade, I didn't even consider that.
And of course, all of this is leading up to the big Haunted Mansion float.
Right, and I thought that was really nice. The floats they have, I mentioned this is a shorter parade, but what they do have here is fantastic. And not only do you have the hitchhiking ghosts on the front of the float, but we'll see something on the back as well.
And here they are. I think they did a great job. And look, it actually is a little version of the Haunted Mansion. You have the entrance signs and you have the mansion itself on a float. How cool is that?
Right. If you see the fireworks projections on the rivers of America, this is kind of what the mansion looks like there. Mm-hmm. So I think that's very interesting. And you can see candles inside, and also there's some kind of little magic. What would you call it?
Fiber optics, perhaps.
And
there he is.
Back.
Yes. The return, well, at least for us, the return of the caretaker, minus the dog. And we were talking to a friend of ours who saw this last year and swears that the dog made an appearance last year in California.
We will have to look at YouTube, which we have, and check that out. And there is the Gravediggers.
Also very different. They're not dressed in their Haunted Mansion uniforms like they would be in the Boo-to-You Parade. So they're more like Gravedigger outfits here.
Right. And I mean, the hitchhiking ghosts are different, and then the Gravediggers are different, but they still are...
They still spark their shovels very well. I don't know what these are.
I have no idea.
But they are very spooky and very villainous.
So between some of the floats, and maybe between, I don't know if it's between all the floats, you'll have performers in between, in this case, stilt walkers. Not sure what they're supposed to be.
Maybe they're just really tall.
They are. No, I don't think that's true. And there is Dr. Facilier.
And he has a great float, by the way. Very detailed, very much like his movie scene.
Right. And so I just think it's interesting that you have this huge float and just one character. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
The cards. So
it's really it's a very nice float.
I think so.
We will see more villains, quite a few more villains coming up.
Yes, many. Well, it's villainous fun.
It is.
Is it not villainous?
Yes, right behind Dr. Facilier. We're going. Oh, and you can see the cards
and
here.
And masks.
Yes, and the masks. And I do recommend the view that we have here for the second parade. I really recommend it because of the pumpkin makes great photos.
Now, we were told this is new for this year. It is Ursula.
I think this is a great float. We have not seen this last year, so what's new to us is, well, I guess Ursula, Mickey, and Minnie is what we've been told.
And Gaston.
And Gaston. So, but then we're going to see more villains. We have Captain Hook, Red Queen. What is his name there
Ratcliffe.
With the hat? Ratcliffe.
Governor Ratcliffe.
And then we have the Lady Tremaine and Anastasia and Rosella.
And they are all fantastic. It's a great, great segment. I always like the walking villains. This is kind of like the Boo-to-You Parade, although there's no bowler hat guy and no Oogie Boogie.
And I will say this party was sold out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll add more tickets through the season, but it was not busy to see the parade. And I think the second parade was a little busier than it would have been because there were some issues with the first parade.
Right.
So, we may not have seen the second parade if the first parade had gone off as usual. But it wasn't busy like Mickey's Boo-to-You Parade gets a lot busier.
Yeah, I never felt crowded the whole party. So whatever they do for capacity, they're doing right.
And here we have Hades, Cruella, and I believe behind them will be the evil queen and her
apple, I think.
Yes, whatever you call it,
the cauldron?
The cauldron, that's it.
The boiling cauldron of evil. There she is.
So it's just, we have this full parade up, so you don't have to listen to us talk and watch a parade again. You can enjoy the full parade, which is about 12 minutes, not including the Headless Horseman. There's Jafar. And it's really just a lot of fun, and you'll probably recognize the music if you've ever been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Oh yeah, we should talk about the music. And there again, also brand new for this year is Gaston. So the music is from Disneyland Paris.
Is it from? I don't even remember.
It's
right
Halloween,
now.
Halloween, everybody.
But I know it from the Magic Kingdom.
Right. It used to be part of the Boo to You parade, and then there was a castle show that they did, and it was the Villains Dance Mix and Mingle.
Right. The Villains Mix and Mingle is what I know it most from, and sometimes you still hear that music. But, Disney reuses a lot of this Halloween music everywhere, so it's interesting to hear it in different situations.
Okay, so now we are watching Halloween Screams, a villainous surprise in the sky fireworks, and Zero makes an appearance here flying around the castle.
I will say that the fireworks shows here are never guaranteed because they have wind. There's also, we're going to mention a curfew, I guess, of 10 o'clock is what we were told.
10 o'clock curfew.
So with the I think it's Santa Ana winds, you may not even get fireworks sometimes. So that happens during our trips where you don't get them or you only get like halfway.
Right. So it's not guaranteed. We got lucky, kind of. What happened was because the delay of the parade, the first parade breaking down, the fireworks show started a little late. Everything went fine. We got through the whole show, and right when it came time to the finale, it was 10 o'clock. So they still played the music, and they had lights and all this other stuff. Most guests did not realize they didn't see the correct finale, but we have seen this show before, so we knew that there were. It was kind of obvious you're watching a finale and there should be a spectacular firework barrage.
But I was glad they continued with the lighting and the music because I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel like I'm seeing fireworks here, but I feel like I'm still seeing a show.
So you knew something was off.
Yes, I knew as soon as I'm like, okay, at first I'm like, okay, there's no fireworks. Why is that?
Because it's everybody scream.
Right. Like you're hearing everything. Everything is as normal except for the fireworks part. So I actually still enjoyed it, even without the finale fireworks. So I'm glad they continued, and I think they should always do that, just at least have something to play, just so guests can enjoy the lighting and the music.
And here is the Ursula sequence. We did get most of it in. We only missed maybe a minute of it.
The big fireworks part, but
well, at least we got the first finale because there's one finale and then there's that second finale, which is what we didn't see.
It didn't really bother me or anything. It almost seemed normal, except for you just don't have the fireworks part.
Right, but at least we learned something. We learned about the 10 o'clock curfew because so many people live in that Disneyland area. They are not allowed unless they have special permission. And here is that first finale that we talked about. Quite spectacular. I always do love Disneyland fireworks shows. Mm-hmm.
And I like that they have, when they've had the different characters who go on the rope, including Zero there, is always a fun. I think we had Dumbo before.
Dumbo was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think Dumbo may have been the first character I've seen, besides like a Tinkerbell,
right?
Floating on the rope.
And of course, they had some of the characters come and wish you goodbye. This was at the very end of the night, and there is the pirate outfits on them. One
cast member told us before this happened, he was like, all of the characters from the park are going to come here. Well, we have 5. But it was still very nice. They were there. It reminded me a little of the Disneyland Paris 25th anniversary day,
yes.
Where the characters, said goodbye.
I always love it when they do this. And usually it's just Mickey, so it's nice when you have the whole group out there. Although, I'm thinking, wouldn't it be cool if you got the villains all to come out there and say, be gone, get out of here? I think that would be interesting.
It would be. I don't know how guests would take it, but it would be interesting.
So they also had some merchandise. Here is the Headless Horseman on a sweat jacket, actually.
I didn't look too much at the, you know what? I don't know if I went in and looked at party merchandise too much. I saw a few things, but a couple things here I didn't see.
There's ornament. There's another one of the shirts. I think this is the kids' shirt, similar to what we had, and the regular adult shirt, glow in the dark.
I like the purple one better. The kid one, actually, I like better.
And here is a selection of some of the Halloween pins. I did pick up the pass holder Headless Horseman pin, which is on the lower left-hand corner there.
I didn't get anything from the party. I got some stuff, though, from Carsland.
And we took some pictures and some video at the end of the night of all the colorful projections on the castle. It looked really, really cool.
And the music too, just like on Main Street, if you looked on Main Street and you looked at the castle, it generally was the same. So like right now with this segment with the bones, you can see it also on Main Street projected with the music. So I thought that was really cool.
And this is here all the time. The pumpkins that are carved. This one is Jack Skellington.
And by all the time, we don't mean year round. We just mean
for Halloween. Time.
So, and here is the big orange pumpkin, the Mickey pumpkin, that is so popular for photos.
Anyway, I would say big thumbs up for me. If I could have, I would have gone to another party. Had we known it was not really sold out, one more party would have been absolutely awesome.
I think so too. And so if you're at Disneyland, you may just find that the party isn't totally sold out. You never know. So always check if you're there anyway.
Absolutely.
So Axel, Curious Axel from YouTube, made us this great video about the Disneyland Paris Half Marathon weekend. We were there last year, but couldn't be there this year. We can't be there like every month or anything. I wish.
We could.
But he made this fantastic video. So if you've never been to Disneyland Paris or you haven't run at Disneyland Paris, this is a great way to see how, what it's like.
Yeah, so it is tremendous. As always, he did a great job. Here he is, our good friend Axel, talking all about this year's Disneyland Paris Run Disney weekend.
Hi there, guys. Welcome from the Run Disney event weekend here at Disneyland Paris. There's the Run Disney Expo. It's about to happen. We're here for 3 days of fun with 4 races, a kids race, which I'm clearly too old to run, but there's a 5K. There's a 10K. So it was the first time that we had a 10K, which was amazing. And because there's a 10K, there's also for the first time a challenge called the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Challenge. Which means if you run the 10K and the half marathon, which looks something like this. So this was it. This was the Run Disney event here in Disneyland Paris. We got all our medals. We got an amazing challenge medal to do the 10K and the half marathon. We had the half marathon medal. We have the 10K one and the 5K family race. It has been truly amazing, and we will be back here for next year's run because it's so much fun. So count us in for next year, and I hope to see some of you guys here next year. Bye.
I got a feeling he's talking about us.
I am hoping to be there next year for this, and
Look at all those medals.
can I say how professional that is? I mean, he should be working for Disney and making videos for them, because this would sell so many people on joining.
You mean running?
Yes.
Joining the marathon?
Yes, and so many characters. It's incredible. So
He does an awesome job, and he will be back next week, actually. Curious Axel is going to give us a preview of Halloween time at Disneyland Paris.
And it's going to be totally different, or very different, than when we were there last year and in 2014. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be mostly in Frontierland.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Halloween time there.
Well, next year, I mean, they could go back to the normal way, so we'll see what happens. Thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. If you're planning to go to Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, Walt Disney World, for Halloween, for Christmas.
Festival of the Arts,
Festival
Flower
of the
and
Arts,
Garden.
yes, anything.
Do this all
food,
over again
wine.
next year.
Or Asia, because right now they've been in Asia over the last couple of weeks, so they can answer questions if you're booking with them. So anyway, check them out at their website and sign up for the newsletter.
So lots of goodness coming up. Tomorrow is Epcot's 35th anniversary. We'll be there all day. We'll have coverage of that next week. Much more from Disneyland Halloween time, especially Cars Land.
Disney Fan Days.
Disney Fan
At
Days.
Disneyland Paris, they just announced it. I've been tweeting. We have somebody at the event right now. I'm tweeting about that. So very exciting stuff there too for, it sounds like next summer, next June is it starting.
So lots and lots to look forward to. Thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.